What's going on here in the Beat Sessions? I'm your host, Mitchell Weary. We are looking at the brand new record from Greta Van Fleet entitled The Battle at Garden's Gate, which they released on April 16th. I keep wanting to call it the Battle of Evermore for obvious reasons. I've probably said it about 10 times now trying to record this review for this album. And if you know anything about the band, you'll get that. If you're not familiar with this band, I feel like you've kind of not been on planet Earth for the last 5 years, but I will leave my judgments for another time. Not everybody can know everything about everything. This band consists of Josh, Jake, and Sam Kiska, I believe is how you say their last name, three brothers from Michigan, and their buddy Danny Wagner on drums. Not their original drummer. He joined a year after they formed, so he's been there for basically all the important stuff, as these guys have broken onto the scene, and they made a huge impact in 2017 with their EP From the Fires. Great record. That had Highway Tune on it and Safari Song. Highway Tune really was the big single on the record, but I think Safari Song, still to this date, is their best track. It's fast-paced, it's got a solid riff, and most important, it has a vocal hook, which is just something that lacks on pretty much every song on these guys' catalog. It's mind-blowing listening to how how good they are. I mean, really, they really could be one of the best rock bands in the world if they weren't so set on just wanting to be a Zeppelin cover band for some reason. I don't know what it is. You know, hearing Josh's voice the first time back in 2017, it was hard not to make those comparisons. And part of the reason I love the music so much is there was that similarity, but you can't sit there and just ride that novelty to the bank for 2 decades. I mean, I feel like at this point these guys are just resting on laurels. You know, like they've found the perfect way to replicate Zeppelin's 1970 sound, and so they're not going to do anything to push the genre forward or to develop that sound or do something creatively on their own to make their mark. I mean, really, they haven't done anything impressive since putting out that first EP. Their first album, Anthem of a Peaceful Army, is pretty much just as dull as the second record. And again, you have the same problem. You have a lot of great melodies, great guitar riffs, big rockin' stuff. Good balladry on some of the songs there, but there are just no vocal hooks. And I'll give you a really good example. Take the song "You're the One" from Anthem of a Peaceful Army. Play it, and then play "Your Time Is Gonna Come" by Zeppelin off of Zeppelin 1. And you can even sing along because the timing is exactly the same. The structure of the song is pretty much exactly the same. The way the drums come in after the opening. The only thing that's going to catch you off guard is that the chorus, the vocal hook, which is lacking in comparison to "Your Time Is Gonna Come," comes in a little earlier on "You're the One." But just play around with it. Do a little experiment, and you will hear it. And that's exactly what I feel like is going on with their catalog. For every Zeppelin song out there, there's some half-assed Greta Van Fleet song that they've written to pay homage to it for some reason whatsoever. These guys have the biggest egos in the world, and it's such a detriment. Because there's a big difference between being confident in your musicianship and your skills as a songwriter versus just thinking that you're basically here to be the saviors of rock and roll, which you're not. You're not doing anything to save rock and roll. You're basically trying to preserve it and breaking it in the process with this. I mean, the only good moment on this album for me was Stardust Chords, 7th track on the album. Halfway through it, you finally get something with some life, with some creativity, something that sounds like, all right, yeah, they're playing around with Zeppelin sound, but they're tweaking it and playing with it to make it their own. Everything else, again, phenomenal production, phenomenal musicianship. I mean, you can tell that these guys are all very good on their instrument, but just have no ability to write a catchy hook. And all of these melodies and all of these riffs, for as cool as some of them are built into songs that are just so painfully regrettable. And it kills me. Like, I want to see this band succeed. I want to see these guys kick ass. But until they move past their egos and this, I don't even know what to call what they're trying to do with Zeppelin and Rush, but the novelty is wearing off, and these guys are going to be done after this record if they can't find a way to build on, this sound that they're, I don't know. I don't even feel like they're trying to cultivate a sound anymore. I feel like they're just, again, resting on laurels and riding the coattails of bands that came before them, and it really feels like such a waste of talent, unfortunately. I'm passing on this record. If you enjoyed it, I'm glad to hear that. No judgment here. It's the beauty of music. It's, to each their own. But I will not be adding this record into my collection. Hard pass. Hope you find this review helpful. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel, and we will see you next time on the Beat Sessions.